readers,
reviewers,
countrymen,
lend us your ears. And a huge thank you to all of our Patreons.
Thank you to the Pit Fighters, the First Swords, and all of the Bright Stars, Truth and Courage. We have one book haul to rule them all.
Oh, we used that title already, Ed. Many years ago now.
We've been in this booktube game a long time.
2.5 years.
Couple of months. Pretty good.
2.5 years.
2.5 years. Wow.
2 years and 9 months.
Okay, we are bringing you a book haul that would look well in Cinderella's ball. That sounded weird, didn't it?
First up, I have Wolves of Winter by Dan Jones. This is book 2 of his Essex Dogs trilogy, which it will be a trilogy. It's not a trilogy yet because book 2 came out a few weeks ago, and really looking forward to reading this. I'll probably will have read this by the time this video is out, and we will have interviewed Dan Jones himself by the time this video is out as well.
We just call him Dan now, just so you all know.
First name basis.
Dan. And probably be talking to Joe soon as well. Okay, the next one for me. The first one is The Count of Monte Cristo. It is a classic by Alexander Dumas that everyone has read, and their dogs have read as well, and they're saying that you should read it. The book is big enough. It's actually bigger than my daughter, who is 3 months old, but still pretty cool. The main characters are called, I believe, Edmund, me, and Mercedes. My partner is called Mercedes, so pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Is that the reason why you're reading it?
And Henry Cavill's in the old film. No. I'm gonna.
Mercedes named because of Count of Monte Cristo.
She was.
Look at that.
Yeah, I think so.
Were you named because of Edmund?
I was not.
There's a few that I'm just going to... Actually, not yet.
No, Will.
Promise of Blood by Brian McClellan. I love this book, Powder Mage, and I wouldn't say buy the Broken Binding, but it's the Broken Binding Special Edition. This is part of their subscription. Look at those edges. Yeah. Pretty wunderbar. And the Age of Kings is dead, and I have killed it. What a quote. So awesome. What a way to
It's one of my favourite covers.
Flintlock, it's great. Look at that cover as well. Flintlock Fantasy, inspired by the French Revolution, written by Brian McClellan. Pretty cool.
If you guys are looking forward to Ridley Scott's Napoleon film, then check this out, because that gives off the completely same vibes it is, as Will said, inspired by the French Revolution.
Yep, and this is a beautiful special edition that I'm lucky to add to my shelves.
Yes, you are. Very nice. This is a book that I picked up this week, which is called A Brutal Reckoning. Now, Peter Cozzens is the writer who wrote The Earth is Weeping, which is kind of a follow-up and an answer, really, to Burying My Heart at Wounded Knee, but obviously a more modern one. And this book is about the Creek Native Americans and the war that ensued in those different bands. So I'm really looking forward to reading it. I mean, any non-fiction book. I just love a non-fiction cover, and I think that's absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. Every time I go into Waterstones, I always take more photos of non-fiction than anything else.
Really?
And there's so many good books, so many books out there about stuff I don't know about that I just want to know more. Yeah. And that is just amazing.
And that's what going to bookshop's all about, isn't
exactly.
it? If it can intrigue you, it's got you.
Very excited to read this. It's right up my street, and hopefully it's right up some other people's streets as well. But we don't all live in the same street.
Talking about some non-fiction, I have Pax by Tom Holland, and not the character in Red Rising. This is, I imagine, in relation
or Spider-Man. Pax isn't Spider-Man, but Tom Holland is. Different Tom Holland.
But anyway, really looking forward to reading this. Tom Holland, I read Persian Fire, which I really liked his style. It didn't click for me 100% because I was looking for something a bit different. I thought it was going to be a bit more of a deeper dive, but it's a bit more of a general overlook. But there's nothing wrong with Tom Holland's approach. It just wasn't the book I was looking for at that moment. But yeah, I believe Pax will be when I get around to it, because I'll choose it at a moment where I'm feeling ready to read it.
Thank goodness.
Ed, you can't just leave the scene like that.
So I was just
like a criminal.
Just checking my recording. The next one for me is a very special book in my heart. It's been my favourite book of the year so far, and it's Panther in the Sky. A very kind subscriber sent us this book, so thank you, Jen B. Well, sent me this book, and it's not yours. But Panther in the Sky by James Alexander Tom follows the story of Tecumseh, the Shawnee chief, Native American, and it is a wonderful, wonderful book. something that many people should read. This book felt like reading Braveheart. It has that emotional depth to it, as well as it is a true story. So it just, adds a bit more to the punch. But yeah, it's a great book. One of my favourite books I've ever read. My favourite book of the year so far. And I'm very happy to have such a lovely hardback on my shelves.
And very generous of Jen B. And that leads me on to the next book I have. And that is Gates of Fire by Stephen Pressfield. This is one of my favourite books of all time. A standalone historical fiction about what is more commonly known nowadays probably as 300. Even though there were more than 300 people at the Mopoli.
Spoiler.
But... how is that a spoiler? But yeah, thank you so much to Jen B for this amazing hardback that now graces my
I reckon Gates of Fire is the best ancient Greek historical fiction ever written. What do you think?
It's amazing. I probably would put it there. Yeah. Gates of Athens is up there by Conor Goodin. Just exceptional. But yeah, Gates of Fire probably, because it's all in one book and it's a bit more intimate, I'd say. Yeah.
Very nice. The next one for me is another shock horror non-fiction, and it is about the story of Wales. Now, even though we live in England, we have many family members that are from Wales.
Our surname is Gwyn.
Our surname is Gwyn, which means white in Welsh. We visit Wales pretty regularly. We love Wales as a country, as it's in our blood. Our grandparents were very Welsh. So, Wales is a country that means a lot to us, and I would love to read a bit more about the history of Wales. We know stuff through, like folk tales and through, talking to family members and obviously knowing a little bit about history, about the British Isles. But I would love to read a book just centred on Wales as well. So, I'm really excited to read that. When I saw that, I was like, oh! I never even thought of just, reading a whole book just about Wales. So,
and then it opened your mind.
It's going to open my mind, definitely. I will only wear red after I've read that.
Very nice.
And daffodils. Over to you.
Next up, I talked about this in a previous video, but this is Beowulf by Tom Shippey. And so this is a recently, relatively
Tom
new...
Shippey wrote Beowulf.
Yes, I know. This is his take on Beowulf.
It's by Grendel. Everyone knows it's by Grendel.
Yeah, Grendel wrote it, and... that's probably where we should just end the discussion that has landed a millennium there, really, shouldn't we? Really looking forward to reading this take on Beowulf and the commentary at the back as well. Tom Shippey is fascinating. I've been listening to his interview with Philip Chase, Dr. Philip Chase himself, and loving it. Yeah. And I have no doubt that I will feel the same about reading Beowulf.
I believe Tom Shippey wrote a book called Laughing
Shall I Die?
Shall I Die? About Viking Age.
The lives and deaths of great Vikings.
There we go. You've read the front cover. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a really good book. I enjoyed it. Definitely. So Tom Shippey is something I'd like to check out a little bit more.
Very nice. And so that is Beowulf. And next up, what do you have, Ed?
I have To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf. Now, we lived nearby somewhere that Virginia Woolf, I believe, lived. She's quite a prominent figure.
It wasn't Charleston House, was it? No, that was a writing group. I don't know, but she
something
was close.
To do. She was close. Some prevalent things about that she lived or did something around. We should probably
know more, shouldn't we?
We probably should. But Virginia Woolf, To the Lighthouse, something that I've wanted to read for quite a while. It's a beautiful edition. This I saw it just when I went into Waterstones, and it's something I've been meaning to pick up every time. That day I didn't find another book that took my eye, so I thought, well, I'm going to go to the book that has been on my mind a little bit more lately. Have you read any Virginia Woolf?
I've read To the Lighthouse and Orlando.
What's your favourite?
Orlando by far.
Great.
But
I'm joking. It landed on its front. It's okay.
Show us.
It was all. It's fine. It's
okay. If you raise it, it's mangled.
I'm sorry, Miss Wolf.
But I still enjoyed To the Lighthouse. Very thought provoking. Orlando.
Did it make you want to go to a lighthouse? Have you seen The Lighthouse by Robert Eggers?
No.
Okay, because you wouldn't want to go to a lighthouse.
No, it doesn't sound like it makes me want to.
I know what it's.
I know. Yeah, I know. But
have you seen it?
Well, as in I know you think it's amazing.
Right.
I'm not saying it's not.
I know.
No, because
if I said, that book's so good, and you said, I know, I said, have you read it? You're like,
no. It's like you say you really need to see this, and you go, I know.
You know, I know that I need to see it. That's completely different.
Anyway,
you actually
next up, let's start arguing on camera, Ed. Next up, The Words of Kings and Prophets by Shauna Lawless. And this is book 2 of Gale Song. I apologise for the pronunciation. But I cannot wait to read this. And another book that I can add to the shelves, which looks absolutely beautiful, especially next to Children of Gods and Fighting Men.
I believe Alan from the Library of Alexandria will be impressed with this, and Joanna as well has read John Williams' Stoner. Now, Stoner is a book. Well, John Williams is an author that I love reading. Butcher's Crossing. It had this philosophical edge to it, which made it very, very different, stand head and shoulders above and, in a different place, a different corridor than lots of other Western books that I have read. The focus was completely different. John Williams is a very talented writer, getting underneath the skin of the reader, and I absolutely loved it, and forcing you to watch what is unfolding, which probably things you wouldn't really want to watch. I've heard that Stoner is his masterpiece, though. How do you say his piece that is
his magnum opus?
His magnum opus. Piece that is his own. So I'm looking forward to reading Stone. I've heard some fantastic things about it from other booktubers and other friends as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the fuss is all about.
Very nice.
Thank you.
And next up, I'm going to rattle through quite a few like a snake. So first up, I have Red Country by Joe Abercrombie, a lovely, beautiful special edition here. And
what's your favourite of the standalones?
Red Country, by far. Can you hold that, please? I know you love the heroes, Ed, which leads on to...
Red
You'd probably
is a very
rather
close
hold
number
this
two.
one, wouldn't you? Do you want to show that special edition?
Oh, Ghost.
do his voice.
Ghost. That's all I can say, really.
Say Lady Henry.
Lady Henry, hold me.
Who needs to listen to the audiobook when you've got Ed right here?
Stephen Bailey's better.
So yeah, that's another one.
Yeah.
So 2 Broken Binding special editions as part of the subscription. And then if you hold them 2, and I've got boom. And boom, Chronicles of the Wolf Queen, which this is 2 of the installments. And I don't know which one goes first. I think this one.
That one's second.
So... There's another one somewhere.
Are you asking me to hold them as well?
No.
We should show them off.
This
really
is
well.
all of them. So yeah, all
beautiful. Obviously, we all know that Broken Binding does what it wants to do, and they are a fantastic book company.
And it does it brilliantly.
Making some fantastic books and some beautiful, beautiful covers, as well as some nice sprayed edges and sometimes even illustrated editions. So go check them out. They've got a wonderful subscription service, which probably is full for the next 17 years, but you can join the list.
You can join the wait list.
You can join
and actually, the wait list is going down quicker than it was before because they've got tier 2 as well.
Nice. Wait till tier 3 happens.
What do you have next, Ed?
The next one for me is a book.
Did you just remember that you had to show your books then?
Yeah. I was talking to my friend Matembi about this recently. It's about One Piece. And I started watching, he said, to watch the Netflix series. And I really enjoyed what I've watched so far. I watched the first 3 episodes and I thought, I'm going to pause it there. And I'm actually going to read the first 3 volumes. And I'm going to see, then I'm going to go back to the series. And I really, really enjoyed the series. So I'm looking forward to reading this I've heard that One Piece... Well, obviously, you can't even walk down the street without hearing the words One Piece, can you? So I've heard a lot about it. That's all I'm going to say.
Has it been successful on Netflix?
I think it went down really, really well. I think it's been greenlit for the next 2 seasons, I believe.
Wow.
At least the next one has been greenlit. It's meant to have broken the manga to screen curse.
Wow.
Which is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Thank you.
I just 4 in a row, so I'm done.
Wow. Okay, the next one for me. I went to Arundel recently, and there was an amazing...
Castle?
Yeah, Castle's all right, but I prefer the bookshop there.
Right.
And the bookshop there had this wonderful book in, which is called Reading the Fire, which is essays in the traditional Native American literatures of the Far West. So I'm looking forward to reading this. This is looking at different mythologies and cultures of Native Americans within America, obviously, and going a bit underneath the under different layers of these different cultures. So I'm really excited to read that and read something like essays in this rather than just reading kind of one non-fiction. So it covers a broad scope of different things and different aspects of different Native American cultures. So I think I'll get a lot out of this, especially my research for a book that I'm writing at the moment. So yeah, I'm really excited to read that as well. The next one for me was sent to me by the author himself. This is called Like Wolves, Lobos by D.A. Vega. Now, I read this. D.A. Vega sent me an e-copy of it. I loved it and reviewed it on the channel. I believe I definitely spoke about it a few times on the channel.
I recognise the name.
And he sent me this lovely, lovely book. And it is, I've got to say, it is absolutely fantastic. It's a historical fiction focusing on a Comanche warrior whose best days are behind him really, and he is going on one last kind of vision quest really. And it takes all of this mythology, all of this historical inspiration, what was going on in the time period, to a whole new level. If you like Blood Meridian, read this. If you like The Sun by Philip Meyer, read this. It is a breathtaking novel. The prose is just so sharp, and I'm very, very happy to have such a beautiful book on my bookshelves. And the last one for me, I was recently watching the film Dead Poets Society, and they were talking about the book 5 Centuries of English Verse a lot. So the book is what the title suggests. It is 5 centuries of various English poems, and I'm really, really excited to just have a flick through and read this when I feel so inclined. But it's a lovely book to have on the shelves. It's the book that Robin Williams' character gives the group so they can take it to the cave and then start reading this, start performing this poetry to each other, and just bathe in poetry and suck the marrow from life.
That is a good motto for life.
Actually, when I was growing up, I thought that wasn't a good thing to suck the marrow from life, because everyone needs marrow. But now I'm older, I understand that it's a good thing to suck the marrow from life. It's also metaphorical. It is metaphorical, exactly. So, there we go. Well, look at him. You can tell he's been to uni, talking about metaphors and stuff.
Anyway, everyone...
I went to Durham Uni and I learned about metaphorical stuff.
Are you done with your group of books?
Yeah.
Anyway, everyone, thank you so much for watching. That is our book haul. I believe 20 books, but probably 1 or 2 this way or that. And everyone, thank you so much for watching. We always say that we aim to not buy more books, and then we do. And I've bought so many on Kindle as well. We'll just push that aside for now. And anyway, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Let us know some of the lovely books that you bought recently, or some of your books that you bought that you're looking forward to reading. And everyone, thank you as always for watching. Truth and courage, the Brothers Gwyn.
Stay safe, everyone. Truth and courage.